So I have received a package today, and now I'm going to open it up and we're going to discover what I'm going to be filling this interior with, and a little bit of the exterior as well. Alright, so we got a couple of the loopy festoons for the dome lights. These, not the center one. I got something else coming for the center one. Got a couple more of these guys in red. One of which I said I was going to go ahead and put down there for the four-wheel drive just to see how it looks. Because right now, I'm looking at it and you can't even tell that it's engaged. Unless you just look really, really close at it. You can kind of see the green, but it's not really there. So, I'll check that. I got these. One of them is going to be for the DRL light. And then I've got this one for the seatbelt light. I've got wind trying to drown me out. I forgot what I got the amber ones for. How sad is that? And then these, so I can finish out the HVAC cluster, because there's still one of the incandescent bulbs in there, and then my left blinker works when it wants to, so I'm going to replace that one too. And then I have amber and red for all the other little lights in here, and then of course whole bunch of these in bright white for domes and etc. So that's what I got. Oh, and these for the center high mount, the camper shell brake light. So that's going to be great. Let's get all these things open, shall we? And I'm going to go ahead and leave these in there for now, because they don't have color-coded bases. So, yeah. I also forgot to mention all my 3157s and 56s. So, yeah, let's have a look at those. Check that out. That is cool looking. And that's just a 56. Let's see what the 57s look like, if they're any different. I got 4 of them in red. Well, they look pretty much the same. Minus the fingerprint now on this one. Yep. Cool. I'm gonna check out what they look like real quick. Well, I can definitely say the backup light's gonna be bright enough. And that thing's just blowing it up in here. And these guys, pretty darn cool themselves. Yeah. But I want to get it into the housing to see how it's gonna look in there. Okay, let's have a look-see. Oh yes, this is going to be perfect. Absolutely perfect. And you, my super bright white. I like it. I like it a lot. Now the next project is, I'm going to take this bar right here and form it so that it covers these guys and holds them in place. Because I am done with this crappy little circuit board and its crappy little design. So, let's do that. Meanwhile, I'm going to shut my lights off. Well, it ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but I have a bracket that successfully holds down all of the sockets. And this side, I was just putting it back in for a test fit. Was that in 15 minutes ago when I actually wanted it? Yeah, so it fits pretty well. And now I got to rewire a little bit. I got to match up these wires to this connector because obviously they're a little incompatible. Go figure. So I've already taken the connector off of this one and I'm just getting ready to match them up. And then I also have these in here. I'm going to do with my little jumper wire that I'm using for my brake lights. Because basically I'm just hooking the orange wire to the yellow wire and it has the same effect as hitting the brakes. So yeah, all I gotta do is just touch these two together and I have brake lights. And it thinks I'm putting the brake pedal, yeah, it thinks I'm putting the brake pedal on. But I'm not too certain I'm fond of these particular lights. So I'm gonna try these instead and see if they look any better. But I gotta get this wire stuck in there first so that I can work on it live. Well, the wiring for one side is done. As far as these wires are concerned, I'm gonna go ahead and probably wrap them up in electrical tape or something up to the point where they meet the body there and go inside the bed. And you'll notice there's a new orange wire there. That's because I did something special with the wiring on these. Remember I mentioned I was going to have one for just the blinker, rather one bulb just for brakes and then the other bulb for the blinker? Well, I got it done. I got it right. So, have a look. So there you have it. It's all done. Now I just got to do this side. And as you'll notice, the orange wire is coming across to this side too. They're both going to be done the same way. And that spells the end for these things. However, I am saving them just in case I end up having to use them again. Hope that day never comes. Yeah. Alright. So we're all put back together now. The screws are in, the wiring is all connected, and yep. Got the third one done up and ready to go. Everything in the back of the truck is now LED. And now comes the bulb test. Okay, I definitely like the red better. It mixes well with the blue. Not that you can see that right now because it's too darn bright outside, but once it gets night and I have everything converted over, you'll be able to see it pretty darn well. But right now, I'm going to pull this cluster out and get all these little bitty bulbs changed out. And we'll see how much brighter this cluster can be. And there's the cluster. And then we turn it over, and there's all the lights in these little sockets. Now, you can pull out the individual sockets, and as you can see, like I said, I already put the illumination from the blazer into this cluster. So the backlighting is still all good, but I need to grab a pair of pliers because I cannot get these out with my bare fingers. Now, I just got a comment from someone on my latest video of the LEDs in the 4x4, and he's asking, well, not really asking per se. What did he say here? Yeah, this comment right here. Consider explaining how you change them out and ordering them and such. Now, I'm guessing by ordering you mean knowing which bulb to order. So I'm just gonna go with that. Now, if you look at the bulbs, well, oh hell, I put everything back in together already, but, oh, well, I guess we can use these. If you look at the base of these bulbs, assuming that I can get them out of the socket, that is. There we go. Never mind, we'll use these. These are better. Okay, this is a 3057. You can see it's written on the bulb. But if you just look at the base, you can kind of tell. A 4-prong means it's a 57. A 2-prong means it's a 56. 57s are dual brightness, 56s are single. Usually you would use just 56s in the reverse lights because they're single brightness. They don't need a dual mode, but for some reason stock, they went ahead and put a 57 in there anyway. I don't know why. But 3057, 3157, up to like 3557. I think they're all the same bulb, just different brightnesses. Now up here, okay, that's just tail lights, brake lights, and the reverse bulb. Now up here, the blinkers in these trucks use 1157 bulbs, which is a base like this one here, but this one is a single conductor bulb, which means it is an 1156, which you can kind of see right there. It's an 1156. These up here are dual brightness bulbs, so of course they are 1157s. So this one's an 1156 because obviously you only need one brightness for an under hood bulb, but it's not even plugged in, so can't I even get it plugged in? Well, what the hell? It doesn't even work. Alright, fine. I'm not going to worry about it. This one right here is another one of the 194 bases, and I'll go ahead and show you those right now. Now, okay, I got a whole bunch of them because just about everything in this truck uses the 194 base. It's just this really skinny base, which is funny because it's not even the skinniest base you can have in these trucks. That's a 194 base. Now, you might notice you have some really big bulbs down here, which I don't. Okay, well, hang on just a second, we'll just skip that. This is a standard 194 bulb. Notice it's got the same base. That's a 194. Now in this box up here I have a couple 168s from my laser dome lights, I believe. Oh, here's another hood bulb. I might need that. Oh, and while I'm mentioning them here, these are the rigid loop festoon bulbs. They're 42mm festoon style. You'll find them in dome lights like these, and occasionally brake lights. The third brake light I think on the S10 is a festoon. I'm getting 10 and tune all mixed up together here. Freaking A. Oh, here we go. Now you can see. This is the 1157 bulb. You see it's got the two conductors, it's got the two filaments. So that's your 1157, and I do not appear to have a 168 bulb in here, so unfortunately I can't show you that one, but it's just a little bit of a wider bulb with the exact same base as the 194s. and the wind is totally trying to throw everything out of my truck, and I'm not appreciating that very much. Anyway, yeah, they all use the same base, so that's how I know what to order. I just go in, pull all the bulbs, or in the case of these, you can see the difference between the small base and the big base. All of these are 194 base bulbs, including this one, which is soldered to the housing, which you can see right there. You can see the wire there. It's hooked up to the pin that contacts the board here. That's how you know it's a soldered bulb. And this one is blown, so I'm just going to go ahead and toss it. But oh, I did replace the seatbelt one with a regular socket. Okay, well, that's good to know. So I'll have another spare 194 bulb. Because that one, just pull it out of there, and as I said, I got a red one for that. And then basically all you got to do is just put the new bulb back where the old one came out of and make sure the pins line up all right. Make sure the pins actually make contact with the socket contacts, and that's all there is to it. And then you take this and, okay, now I know the way to see what's the ground and what isn't, or what's the positive, what's the negative leads on these. Basically, the one that contacts more than one thing is the ground, generally speaking. Now, okay, the seat belt, it's got one contact. The green ends there. Goes back over to pin 3, or whatever pin that might be. This one is pin 2, comes here, but also goes to the right turn signal, goes to the illumination, comes down here to the other illumination, then comes up here to the ground on the voltmeter. So you know that's a ground. Now if you look at the bulb, I gotta pull it back out of its socket. Inside it's got a couple little circuit components and all that fun stuff. So on this one, I'm not sure if I can tell which direction is ground and which direction is hot. So what we have to do is just test it. So we'll just put the bulb in the socket, we'll put the socket in the housing, and we'll just stick it back in there and see if the seatbelt light comes on. And as you can see, I actually got that one right on the first go around, so that's cool. And we can apply the same thing to the green bulb, but I need to grab an extra base for that one because it had the socketed base. So in here I have quite a few extra sockets that I salvaged from a couple clusters at the junkyards I've been to lately. So that's simple enough to do. Now you can get these little sockets just about any junkyard. If you look at the 95 to 99 model trucks like this one, Chevy Silverados or GMC Sierras, they're all the same. They have the bulb sockets that the bulbs come out of. But if you look at the ones that are like, I think 92 to 94, maybe 91 too, 91 as well, they have all socketed soldered bulbs, so you don't want one of those early models. And you can tell the difference between the early model trucks and the late model trucks. All the same outside body style, but the interior is different. The interior on the 95 to 99 or 2000 models go all the way across and curve down. The 88 to 94 models just have the square dash, like my old 93 did. As you might recall, I'll post a picture in here. I think I have a couple pictures of the dash, or I'll just take a video screenshot still or something and do it that way. But anyway, I am just losing everything out of here. Okay, truck is in gear, so I can release the brake, because that is the only way the DRL light is ever going to come on in this truck. So once again, we pull this out of here. We figure out which one's the DRL. They're all marked except for this one for some reason, because I guess the brights indicator is unimportant. And we'll go ahead and stick it in here just like that. And now both the DRL indicator and the seatbelt indicator are LED. That is a pretty bright LED for its size. Cool. So now we can take all the individual little bulbs, all these little bitty ones here, and in them you can see a resistor and a diode. Now, diodes are used so you can only have voltage going one direction. Now, if you look closely at the diode, on the bottom of it, you can see a little black line, like all the little lines on the resistor, only it's just one line. That indicates the ground side. So if you know the ground side in your dash on the cluster, and you can see the little diode in there, you know which side's the ground. So we'll apply that principle real quick. Okay, so DRL only has one line going. Okay, that's pin 1 right there. It's marked on the trace. That's pin 16. That's pin 32. Okay, well that's cool. So pin 17 is this one. I don't know why they put it on that one. So 1 comes up, and that goes to the, that's the airbag light. Okay, the DRL left turn. I need to replace the left turn, so let's go ahead and just pull that out of there. What did I do with my meat for the pliers? Hey, there we go. So that one was in there like that. Now, if I do that, I can figure out which side is ground side by looking at the existing bulb, because this one's also an LED, and we can see that this is the ground side, the one that says left turn on it. It goes all the way to everything around here, and also the ground side or whatever, that's supposed to be lit up. So we're just going to pull this bulb out of here because it's not functioning properly, and I'm going to grab one of my new blues, determine which side is the ground. Okay, that'll be the bottom now, and then we'll go ahead and plug it in with the ground side down. Alright, now we can do the same thing with check gauges, airbag, battery, check engine light, and the shift button, the shift light, as well as the brights indicator, the emergency brake, and the ABS. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my memory on which ones are which color, and then we're just going to rip into this thing. Also, in the case of this particular cluster, if we need to know what color the lights are, we just shine a light on the other side and we know. That's an amber, that's an amber. That one doesn't exist. That one doesn't exist. That's a red, that's an amber. So that's 3 ambers and 2 reds. And then down here, same thing. Brake is red, that one doesn't exist. Anti-lock is amber, and those 2. Wait a minute. Security? Huh? I don't have a security system. So that one's unimportant, and we don't need a bulb for that one. And of course I forgot one for the center bulb. One blue. And just for the record, these are 74 base. And now, all of my backlights are ready to be put in as LEDs. Okay, now I could probably make this a lot easier on myself and go ahead and mark with a pin which side is the ground and which side isn't. But we're just going to do this the hard way. Which isn't really hard at all, to be honest with you. Now, like I said, each one of these bulbs has their polarity that they must be put in as. And I'm just going to go ahead and put them in as, but because I've already shown you how you need to check. Okay, that's done. Alright, so that is done. Now the moment of truth, when I find out if those bulbs are actually in the right orientation, or if I just got every single last one of these reversed from their proper polarity. Whoops. And there I go, dropping the cluster. I'm gonna bust the whole thing and break it, and nobody will know the difference. Okay, well, it looks like I got every single one of them reversed. Go figure. Go freaking figure. So now I gotta go in and switch out every single one of them again. Okay, we try this again. Well, we got a couple indicators. Darn wires keep getting in my way over here. Alright, anti-lock, check gauges, service engine soon, battery airbag, left blinker, right blinker, no brights. I got that one backward. Okay, brake. That one's good. Alright. Alright. Now I think the anti-lock is actually supposed to go out. I'm not certain of that though. Oh, it just dims. Okay, that's weird. Something's up with that. Okay, well, I need to swap around one bulb and then we're pretty much good. Well, unfortunately, the ABS light is going to have to remain incandescent because for some reason, even with the engine running, it still stays dimly lit. But the others all go out. So, looks like we're stuck with that one, at the very least. Oh, the airbag indicator will go out as soon as I plug its switch back in, but yeah, that's working. The DRL light's working. It's either the DRL or the brake. One or the other is going to be on at all times. No big deal. The brights indicator is now ready. Nice and bright. Blinkers both work. Flashers. Sweet. We're looking good. Sounding good too. I still need to adjust that e-brake. Anyway, yeah, so the dash is all back together, and now my next item is to replace these. Crap. I could get these off before, but now I'm having a little bit of difficulty. So, there we go. Now you'll come out of here. See? Festoon bulb. And there's two of them. And I have replacement bulbs for both of them. Off festoon bulb. Now this one here is also a festoon bulb, but it has caps on the end. And I'm doing something different with that one, so it's going to stay as it is for right now. In the meantime, I replaced the hood bulb, and this is what happened to it. It made a pretty freaking awesome design when apparently it lost its vacuum. I turned it on, it starts smoking on the inside, nothing's coming out, but it's smoking, and it just made this really neat design just on the inside of the glass. I thought that was really cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and get these out of here. I'm not even sure how to do that. Well, I figured it out. I just took it out of the roof, no problem. So now it'll be really easy to get these off. Because they just snap into these little bitty loops here. And I guess that's good enough for it. Alright, now the real question is whether or not these guys have a certain polarity to them. Because if they do, that's going to be fun. Oh, talk about blinding. Ah, and the screw fell in the lens. Okie dokie then. Well, we know that one doesn't have to worry about polarity too much. I'm gonna get these both done. Yeah. Whoops. That one went for a flight. Okay, and that one's looped. Cool. Oh. Line it up, plug it in, hit the switch, and put a ground lead in. Alright, now that's what I'm talking about. Blind me. Sweet! So that's that, and I can put these screws back in and we'll call it good. So now it is quite a bit darker and you can see the lights. And they look so much better in the dark, I gotta say. So much better. I found out why the seatbelt indicator doesn't work right. Because the wire on the housing itself is broken. Yeah, and you can actually see it. Well, okay, no you can't. Yeah, you can. It's right there. And it's broken. It makes momentary contact every now and then if you wiggle it just right. But then it just doesn't stay that way, so. Yeah. The switch between the brake and the DRLs. And the DRLs are disabled, so it doesn't even matter. Oh, I got the radio out right now because I was just replacing the last bulb in here. So it works now. It's all blue instead of having that one spare incandescent bulb, so that's why the red seems so dull now. It almost makes me tempted to just put an incandescent back in there just so the red will look like red. But, oh well, I'll have that instead. The four-wheel drive redness indicator. Yeah, I like that. And I can see it during the day, so that's even better. But now I'm going to turn the actuator off. And it's not going to go out because it's stuck. Well, we have a fix for that too. Maybe? There we go. Just had to move it a little bit. And it'll pop out. But behind the radio, I don't believe I ever showed this. I put my iPod unit up against the back wall since the CD player and the deck were squishing it back there, and the tape player wouldn't fit with it in there, so I'm gonna have to make the wires relocate again. But yeah, it's up against the back wall now instead of being right on top of the tape deck, so it works out pretty well. But, well, actually, since I did move the iPod deck, I don't have to worry about it. Shut your mouth. There we go. Okay, so that's in there now. I'm not gonna worry about it anymore, except clean the screen off. Yay! Uh-huh. Yes, my music is on. Okay, where is my iPod? I don't even know. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna shut it off anyway. But yeah, okay, all the bulbs in here are done, so I'm not gonna worry about them anymore. I'm gonna switch out the ones for the dome lights down here with these 5-ways and just see how they look. And if they look better, then I'll replace the straight downs that are currently in there. In fact, let's pull one out right now. These bulbs get super freaking hot. I gotta say that. I can see why they got the aluminum heat shrink or heat sink on them now, because they get warm. But now let's stick this one up under here and see if it works. Yeah, that seems to work a lot better, so I'll replace the straight downs with the 5-ways, and yeah, because now I can see down here and I couldn't see that before. Awesome, awesome. We're still gonna do something about this, but I gotta say, I like the way those two came out. So that's cool. I'm gonna replace that one down there with the 5-way. I'm thinking I'm gonna replace these with the 5-ways too, but I'm undecided. You know, let's get this one because it likes to fall out of the door anyway. Let me take one of these. Put the bulbs down. I'm keeping the doors closed because for some reason the mosquitoes decided they felt invited. And as you are all very, very much aware, I hate mosquitoes, so that was not going to work out very well for me. Yo, that sucker is bright. But is it bright enough for me to consider replacing what I already had? Oh, yes. That is much better. That is bright. That is super bright. That is super bright LEDs. Alright, let's pull this one out without burning my fingers off. These bulbs are so freaking hot. Oh yeah. That's quite a bit better. So yeah, I'll do the one over there too. And there's one in here too that I'll go ahead and do real quick. Now to get this one out, it's a little interesting. You gotta see what you're doing to begin with. Okay, that's the switch that turns the light on, but the funny thing is, it's also what holds this whole thing in place. You pull on this slightly, you push down, and the whole thing just slides out. The whole bracket, light and all. And then, yeah, it's just got a wire clip on it, and the bulb is hiding way down inside of it, and you got to pull off all this extra crap to get to it. So I'll do that in the truck where I'm not being attacked by 5 million mosquitoes. Okay, long story short, glove box light is now a super bright white LED. And now the humidity is getting to me in a very bad way, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this up by doing this bulb here, and then I am done for the night. Tomorrow I'm driving out to Dallas. We're going to replace a PCM under the hood and go from there. All the exterior bulbs are now LED, except for the cargo light and the center brake light on the truck, which I can't get to right now because there's a camper shell in the way. Maybe I'll do them someday, I don't know. The interior bulbs, everything is LED except that right there. At least, if I remember right. And of course the beeper is going to be annoying because I don't have the key on. Yeah. So, everything in there is LED. Down here is LED. Four-wheel drive's not on. And everything there is LED. So that's the end of this video. All the LEDs are done, except the one right here, which I'm just about to do. But I'm going to make a quick run of it, because I don't get eaten alive by mosquitoes, as I've already got at least 3 new mosquito bites. Thank you very much, Texas, and your crappy humidity as well.